Shalom, Rabbi Jonathan Ginsburg. This video is about minyan. So what is a minyan? Well, a minyan consists of 10 people. And where does this come from? There's several stories in the Torah which hint to us that God considers the minimum size community to be 10. The first story is about the destruction of the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. And when God tells Abraham that he's going to do that, Abraham starts arguing with God and says, if there are 50 righteous people in that city, would you not destroy it? And God agrees, and they bargain until Abraham gets down to 10 people, and then he stops arguing. So that gives us a sense that the minimum for a community is 10. The second story occurs much later in the fourth book of the Torah, in Numbers, when 12 spies go to spy out the land, and they come back, and 10 of them report that they don't think they can conquer the land of Israel, even though God promised it, because they were like, quote, grasshoppers in their own eyes. And God says, how long will I have to endure this evil congregation? Meaning the 10 guys. And that gives us another sense that 10 is the minimum size of a community. Now, the Orthodox believe that you have to have 10 men, males, above the age of 13, bar mitzvah age. And 13 becomes the cutoff age because that's the age of mitzvot. That's when someone can be counted in a minyan. Now, the conservative rabbis, not all follow this rule, but we have an agreement that women can be counted in a prayer quorum, in a minyan. Many conservative rabbis allow women to be counted equally, and therefore you simply need 10 men or women 13 or above. The codes of Jewish law, some suggest that if you have a minor holding a Torah or a Bible, printed volume, that counts as the 10th. And some shuls cheat a little bit, and if there's 9 and they open up the ark and they count the Torah as the 10th, there's really not support for that, but some synagogues do that. And some synagogues don't care if there's a minyan. There's an old ancient custom that was in Jerusalem where they counted 6 or 7. And then there's a question, of course, of how many people have to be awake. I even heard a cute story about if you have a virtual minyan on the internet, or if you have a minyan going on and there's a camera and a guy's got a computer with a camera and so he can listen into the minyan in his hometown and he's on business in some little place there's no minyan, can that count? All interesting questions. The bottom line is this notion that we should pray in a community. You can pray by yourself. There's certain prayers we don't say without a minyan. We don't say any form of Kaddish, any prayer saying beginning with Yid Kadav, Yid Kadash. We read Torah, but not the traditional way if there's no minyan. We traditionally read Torah on Monday morning, Thursday morning, Saturday morning, and Saturday afternoon, but only if there's a minyan. If there's no minyan, you either skip the Torah reading or you read it, but not in a ritual way, and you don't call anybody up for aliyot. We also don't say the call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, which is normally said in the morning and in the evening. Those are the main differences. And the final main difference is in the morning and afternoon, when we have the prayer Amida, there's something called a Kedusha, sanctification prayer, which is not recited if there's no minyan. So you can see that a minyan is definitely desirable. And hopefully that helps. Now, how do you count the 10 is another interesting question. You can, of course, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which people are prone to do. But there's a bias against that in Judaism. First of all, there are stories in the Torah where people who took census got in trouble. God didn't like that. And one reason may be spiritually that taking a census is a way of considering people numbers instead of made in the image of God. So another way to do it is to take a blessing, which has 10 words in it, and count everyone associated with one word of the blessing. And if you get to the end, you have a minyan. For example, if you say, Baruch atah Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam hamotzi lecha min haaretz, the prayer for bread, and every person there is counted with one word of that bracha, and you get to the end of the blessing, you have a minyan. Shalom.